Welcome back to The Last of Us Remastered. So, combat or stealth?
Oh
Consider your
God,
supplies when
they're
choosing.
humping each other. They're humping each other. Pedro, what are you doing?
Jova, we live in a post-apocalyptic world where there are very few people alive. A guy gotta get his frustrations out somehow. Come on, give him a break.
Because we got to repopulate the Earth.
That too.
But only-
Yeah, this is a good point.
But only if she's consenting.
I'm giving it some time so you guys can listen to the dialogue.
I'm thankful he didn't say anything about taking it up the rear.
So yeah, like the game just said, you can either charging guns blazing or you can do stealth. Especially considering this is still the early part of the game where you don't have that many weapons, or you only like a handgun. It's unless you're playing on the easiest difficulty, charging guns blazing at this point in the game is basically asking for a suicide. So try your best to stealth your way through this. As always, make very good use of Joel's hearing. Basically, think of it as this game's Soliton Raider.
Alright. Remember during our original run of this?
It's been a long time.
I remember me and Jova kind of hijacked a part, so we were talking about commentating on this from the future.
Oh yeah, that where you thought. Yeah, the one where you came up with a future where, for some odd reason, Ace Attorney, the main series game, was exclusive to Sony console.
Yeah, and when the Daleks took over the island.
Well, hey, think about it, though. Here's something that we actually managed to predict. A future where M. Night Shyamalan's movies would start not sucking again.
Yep.
High five for predicting that one, Dwibs.
Alright.
Saying there's no way to prove that now since we've lost it.
Seems like we're clear, so let's continue.
But we did it, guys. I said that, guys, I swear.
It reminds me of the time how I predicted that Nostalgia Critic would eventually review Tentacolino. It took years. But I predicted it in 2015 when we commentated on either Legend of Titanic or Tentacolino. And thankfully, I do still have the recordings from those. And people will be able to tell that there are older ones because our audio quality is way lower than it is now.
Yay.
How nice.
Hey, gotta keep the initial reactions. I love you and Teos' reactions to when the dolphins start to talk because of magical moonbeam tears, Shiroi.
Oh, God. Anyway, moving on to a much better story. So yeah,
sad when magical saliva is more delightful.
Since Jova brought that up, might as well talk about that. It's going to be implied, especially later on, right after we meet Ellie, that Joel and Tess have been together for quite a while, and even though we don't exactly know like the very specifics of their relationship, we do know that they go way back. We don't know if they've been romantically involved before or are currently. They don't go too deep, but they do imply that they do have a history together. At least, so we do know that they're at the very least long-time partners. At the very least,
I demand a spin-off game called The Tessivus.
Well, Angry Joe would definitely agree with you on there, because Tess is actually one of Angry Joe's favorite characters in this game.
Well, I like what a lot of people's problems with Tess are. We don't really know all that much about her.
Yeah, honestly, the thing with Tess, the thing with Tess, it's one of those clear cases of show and don't tell. They show a lot of her being a badass, and of course, there's going to be some lines that, like I said, there's going to be some lines that imply. That's one thing that I do like about some of the writing in this game. A lot of stuff is more showed through the characters' personalities, or just implied, rather than just being spoon-fed to you.
Okay, I can see where both sides are coming from. Okay, now, without spoiling, Tess does her job well for her character. However, yeah, for those saying that it kind of may have gotten wasted, I can see why for people who really like her and, wanted to know more about her.
It's mostly because she's such a... I think it's mostly because there are very few competent NPC partners.
Allow me to state the TV trope for this. She's a dark ensemble horse. Basically, she's, well, Pedro, question. Does you know what happened in this part?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Basically, let's just say she's a... You might spoil what happens.
In that case, just save it for later.
Okay. Anyone who frequents TV tropes knows what I'm talking about when I say that she's a dark ensemble horse.
Yeah, they know.
Ensemble Dark Horse. That's what
Ensemble dark horse.
A Trojan dark horse.
Trojan dark horse?
Ensemble.
Where the heck did that come from?
I don't know, I'm just talking out of my ass. Oh, there's Robert.
Speaking of ass... Hey, this reminds me of the pinstripe porteroo boss fight from Crash Bandicoot. Hide behind the furniture and... Oh wait, he's already out of bullets.
So yeah, let's run after him. Oh shit, he locked the door.
Because he's smart.
There we are.
But not smart enough!
Why was he just standing there?
He thought he would be smart enough to outwit us that way.
Don't you see, Dwibs? He thought that locking that door would be enough.
He could just still run.
Alright. Alright, since we were talking about it earlier, how about Tess is pretty much the big one interrogating Robert anyway, so check out. This is a good demonstration of how showing her personality just purely for her actions.
Ow. Hmm?
You want to tell us where the guns are?
It's complicated.
No, sir. An Ace Attorney case is complicated. You're just a filthy liar.
So yeah, in this scene, Joel is kind of being the guy just doing the heavy work, whereas Tess is the one leading the interrogation, pretty much. So that kind of makes me think that Tess is the brain of the group.
Well, Joel's got some brains on himself, but
Hold
on. Let me finish. I was about to say he has some brains
good point.
on himself, but I definitely see what you mean. I guess to put it in better terms, she's the mind over muscle.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, like Tess just said.
You know, why don't you just kick him multiple times in the crotch? That'll be even more torture, since that's literally the weak point. Cannot believe your eye. Wait, hold on. So you mean Will.i.am and his crew of Fireflies have gone rogue?
Yes.
Or you mean the fans of that show that ain't all that great?
Oh, this one. Basically, let's just go kill them ourselves. Yeah.
Oh yes, it'll be a great. The three of us, or two of us.
I love me some Naughty Dog dark humor.
Mind me not to get onto
that line always puts a lot in my face. Come on, let's go get him. Fuck the Fireflies. And Tess is like, that is a stupid idea. Shot.
Alright, as like I said, I'll be honest. I've seen a bit
well, it's the woman from the poster.
Queen Firefly.
Oh my god, she reminds me a lot of Daisy Fitzroy. You remember Daisy Fitzroy, right, Dwibs?
No.
You have been playing Bioshock Infinite to practice, right, Dwibs?
Hold on, guys. Let's try to actually pay attention. Because
and shooting me won't do you any good.
True.
Please let it not be a bomb.
Well, your military's been wiping you guys out. Right about that. I'll show you the weapons.
Well, crap.
Oh boy.
Speaking of military.
I want to see those guns. Follow me.
It's really telling that we've met more bad people than actual zombies so far.
All right. Yeah. They mentioned Fireflies. Of course, I'm going to reference the show Firefly. I'll keep it TLDR. I don't really think the show's all that.
That must be the case because there's not really been much word about it.
Well, there's a very loyal, dedicated fan base for the show.
Is it a British show?
No,
American.
it's not American. It's created by Joss Whedon.
Whoa, that explains the following.
Well, and again, I mean, I'm not the kind of guy who will just blindly follow something just because.
Dwebs, you're going off on a wild tangent again.
Just because the creator's beloved.
Your Honor, we must stay on topic.
But Jova, the judge isn't here. Remember, he got killed during the.
But you're incorporating the judge, the spirit.
Sure.
I'm sorry guys, but I have some bad news. The judge was killed during that attack during part 1.
Well, but don't you know, Dwibs? He lives in you.
Oh.
He lives in me. He watches over everything we see.
I prefer We Are One. Or even then.
Yeah. We Are One is definitely my favorite song in that movie.
Well, I prefer We Are One over He Lives in You, but my favorite song in that movie is actually what's Zira's song? I forgot the name.
That's My Lullaby.
There you go. I really like that one.
I like that song.
I'm a sucker for femme fatale songs.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so obviously let's try to see if we can get to where she is, so she can show us what she wants to smuggle out of town.
Ooh, a quiet moment. Cherish those. Yeah, that's actually an interesting thing about this game. This is the kind of game that can actually teach you to cherish the quiet moments in a video game.
Oh, yeah. Neil Druckmann also brought a bit of that to Uncharted 4 as well. Not as much as this game.
A bit? Are you sure, Pedro? Because it seems like he brought a whole truckload of adrenaline in Uncharted 4, if you ask me.
No, I mean... Hold on.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's like, Uncharted 4 really goes above and beyond with their death traps.
But Pedro's playing the game, not me.
Yeah, so we will sneak past them.
Anyway, okay. Every time we go to a location, I always have a headcanon in my head of what other games universe got destroyed because of this game. So now we are wandering through what remains of Professor Layton.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll go with this is actually what happened this is the Uncharted universe post-apocalypse.
But wait, hold on. But the fear is that Uncharted 4 takes place afterwards because things apparently get better.
They do? I don't...
They gotta
Uncharted
get
4 is an alternative universe thing.
Remember, guys, Uncharted 4 takes place a few years before Crash Bandicoot. Even though there's a video game based off of Crash Bandicoot.
But you see, Joe, no, Joe, no. You're missing the point. You see, here's how it is. This is the Naughty Dog game universe. You see, we have the Uncharted series. And way after the whatever timeline of Uncharted it has, because since it's a long time ago, you can make a lot of Uncharted games that take place before Last of Us. Anyway, Last of Us is at the very end of the timeline because post-apocalyptic future and all that. Hold on, I'm not finished. In the meantime, in the Uncharted / Last of Us universe, there used to be PlayStations for people who played Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot, which explains why in this game you have a girl's room with Jak and Daxter plushie dolls. So there you go. What happens is the characters of Uncharted play Naughty Dog games, aka Jak and Crash.
No, wait, hold on. Better idea. See, okay, here's how it goes. Crash Bandicoot came first. So it turns out that the Crash Bandicoot games in this universe are actually historical artifacts based off of a true story. And humans evolved from being cartoonish into looking realistic. Thus brought us to Uncharted 1 for free But then came the big outcry of Last of Us 1, and I'm guessing Part 2, and then eventually humanity got cured enough for then the ending of Uncharted 4. For you see, Pedro, everything
Joe,
up until the...
That's an incredibly convoluted timeline.
Don't you see, Pedro? Everything up until the post-credit scene of Uncharted 4 takes place in between and during Last of Us Part 2 in an unaffected part of America. And then finally, Jack and Daxter comes after all that because humans have evolved to have pointy ears, sort of like the humans of Hyrule.
Objection. Objection, Jova. By that logic, in Uncharted 4, Nathan Drake would have been like 60 years old.
Objection! But Dwibs, remember, I said that it takes place in between and after. I said the post-credit scene.
True.
It would still be too old, though.
Dwibs, you should see the post-credit scene of Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Well, is it? Please tell me it's not like the ending. The very last scene in Godfather Part 3, is it?
No, nothing like that. It's what happened to them after all these years kind of ending.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay, Shira, you might have noticed how a couple times in this part you've seen me grab both an empty bottle or a brick. That's because, much like in Metal Gear games, you can also use various items that you pick out the ground to distract the guard. Like, for example, if I throw either a brick or a bottle, of course, either will make a sound, or in the case of the bottle, will break, making even bigger sound than the brick, which will attract attention to whoever's nearby. This is actually a really good strategy when you're trying to get off the clickers. Who are the clickers? Well, we'll talk about the clickers in the next part.
Clickers, so like the Boys of Silence equivalent.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically, if you want to distract a guard or a zombie, just use noise. In this case, I'm not going to because there's way too many guards around here. If I make noise, it'll just attract everybody towards that spot and will be counterproductive.
Yeah.
Just stay there. Don't move. And...
Wow, to a murder that happened a few feet over behind him.
Well, to be fair, they did it very stealthily.
The guy was pretty obviously choking to death.
Shiroi, he wanted an early retirement.
It's one of those video game... Basically, sure, it's one of those video game story segregations where, for the sake of making the gameplay fair to the player, the game will ignore some noises that occur not because of what the player did, but because of some kind of scripted event, aka the choking that I just did.
Here's my headcanon. The enemies are deaf.
Oh, did you hear? Did you notice, by the way? He noticed one of the dead bodies, so now he's investigating. So, hold on.
One guard is the eyes, the other's the ear.
Yeah. The blind leading the deaf.
All right, that should take care of it.
That's brilliant.
One guy can see but can't hear. One guy can hear but can't see.
Indeed.
That's true.
What about the third one who speaks
you figured it out. You figured it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen. In just a...
You really got nothing on me.
All right, everybody. In a few moments, we'll meet the other main character of this game, Ellie, played flawlessly by Ashley Johnson, who I'm sure Dwebs and Shira will remember as Gretchen Grutler from Recess.
So she went from a nerd to
a pre-Titanic James Cameron kid. In fact, the reason I'm saying that, Joe, is because of the way
she's like mad.
No, it's not that. The way Ellie is written in this game reminds me a lot of how John Connor was written in Terminator 2. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, mad for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, John Connor.
Like the way, not just because of the swearing, but because of the overall personality they have. It reminds me a lot of T2 John Connor.
I see it.
Alright, so trying to see if there's anything here we can use. No, this kitchen is useless. Alright, moving on.
Look out, there are raptors in the freezer, but we kept them frozen enough.
Here we go. Come on, Marlene. Come on, Marlene. Oh.
Oh no, it's something even more dangerous than raptors! A little girl with a ponytail! Who looks a bit like Ellen Page.
Fun fact,
Oh, no, we
Shiroi.
gotta
Fun fact,
sue someone.
Fun fact, Shiroi. Originally, Ellie's character model looked even more like Ellen Page than what she does here in the final game. However, of course, Ellen Page noticed this and basically threatened to sue Sony.
About that.
Well, okay, might as well say it for the sake of the audience. Yeah, she threatened to sue Sony, so Naughty Dog changed her appearance to look a bit more like Ashley Johnson.
That's not exactly close.
I mean, I like Ellen Page, but sometimes she sounds like she's probably a prima donna of sorts.
I mean, there are a lot of people who look like each other.
Seriously, is that really? Is that really?
So,
Like seriously, if they made a video game character that looks like me, I would actually be kind of honored, and I wouldn't. I don't see.
I'm in a video game. Yay!
I get the feeling. I get the feeling her fame got to her head.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, for as cool as Ellen Page is, she has a lot of issues sometimes regarding things.
She's completely right when it comes to suing Sony for Beyond Two Souls, though. That she's.
Well, I think she should have sued Quantic Dream, let's be honest.
Well, remember, Jova, Sony is the one publishing the game, so Sony has to answer for it as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the legal conundrums and drama.
Because Ellen Page was never told by Quantic Dream that there was a naked model of her in the game. So
How do you do that? How do you make a naked model of someone and not tell them about it? I mean, great, until I guess someone else's...
it's David Cage, and considering his obsession with her, I think you probably can put one and one together, Jova.
Oh, why not humor me? It's been ages since we've tackled him because he's
maybe because he's obsessed
never
with
mind.
Ellen Page and the fact that he has a scrapbook of photos from when she was a little girl. Yeah.
What? Wait, hold on, back up. I never heard about a scrapbook about times from when she was a little girl. I heard about the scrapbook, but since she was a little girl...
Can you guys imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, just to compare... You remember the third girl who is related, basically, Ellen from Bioshock Infinite. I mean, no. Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite, who tends to get caught up in the comparison between Jodie Holmes and, what's this girl's name?
Ellie.
Oh, yeah, Ellie. Elizabeth basically also was kept hostage in a giant tower where she was photographed doing everything, and I mean everything, from practically the time she was a baby to the time she was a kid. Only here's the thing: the guy keeping her in prison there and keeping photographs of her was the villain. And
Can you imagine?
Hold on, Jova, real quick, so I can. Basically, what happened while we were talking is, Tess is going with Marlene to check if the guns are really there, whereas Joe was told to get Ellie to safety away from where the military won't be able to find her. Go ahead.
Can you imagine how disappointed David Cage was when he found out that Ellen Page was a lesbian?
Yeah.
He's probably crying in his room for
Okay,
days.
basically, Joe, what happened was...
married.
Basically, Joe, what happened was when Ellen Page was first met David Cage. David Cage showed her a scrapbook. He had photos of her from pretty much all periods of her life, including when she was, because she's been acting since she was little. So there are pictures of her as little in movies. So yeah, interpret that in whatever creepy way you want.
Like I said, that makes him like the bad guy of Bioshock Infinite.
Shiroi, what are your thoughts on all that?
By the way, Bioshock Infinite, wonderful game.
Shiroi is speechless.
If it's in a consolation, though, Shiroi, you get to beat up and shoot racist.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. This is one of the best non-cutscene dialogues that we're about to get in a moment.
All right.
Funny, Jova.
Hold on, Dibs.
I disagree with you, but whatever.
Post it in text. What is it, Dibs?
What's the deal with you and Marlene anyways?
I don't know. She's a friend, I guess.
Friend? You're friends with the leader of the Firefly. What are you, like 12?
Oh, that.
And I'm 14.
Well, it was a... I
Joe,
can't say that because it would spoil. Oh.
Been gone a while.
So instead of just staying in school, you decided to run off and join the Firefly. Is that it?
supposed to tell you why you're smuggling me, if that's what you're getting at.
One of the best things about my job. I don't got
I was called Gretchen at school.
two shits we do up
Well, great.
to. Good.
Yeah, as you can probably tell from what he's saying, ever since that happened, Joel has kind of stopped, caring about people because he doesn't want to get hurt again.
Well, this leads.
Especially, it fits very well, especially
To a
for
problem later on.
we live in a world right now. In this world that they live right now, people can die from a million reasons at any point. So in order to avoid getting heartbroken again, Joel probably decided to just not try to be his best, not to care about people anymore.
Which gets
Oh my God.
contradicted later on.
Okay.
Oh, and then we're about to get some awesome, clever subtext.
What are you doing?
Killing time.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Do whatever you teenagers do in your puberty days.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. One of the best lines in the game for me.
The watch is broken.
Ha! Subtext. Get it? The watch is broken. You know, the watch that his daughter gave to him. Get
Yeah,
it?
we-
Ha
Don't
ha.
talk. Please don't talk about the watch. I don't like. To
So yeah,
talk about
so
the
yeah, Joel's watch
broken
is
like his
Joel's watch is his Leighton hat.
So basically, this game is what would happen if Recess and Yokai Watch went horribly wrong.
Sure, let's go with that.
I have no idea where that came from, but okay.
Watch, and then Ellie was in Recess.
Oh, ho, very clever. Dude.
In fact, Ashley Johnson is probably my favorite actor / actress in this game because she portrays Ellie pretty much flawlessly. Every line she says sounds believable, and she sounds believable as a 14-year-old, even though she was like 20. She was like 20 when she recorded this, I think.
Well, she's in her 30s.
Oh, yes. Oh, never mind.
Well, she's played kids before, as we know.
Yeah, but she was a kid when she did Gretchen, if I remember correctly, wasn't she?
She's like
I
in her
guess-
mid to late teens by that point.
Oh, okay.
You know,
then.
yeah. That's what you get lady voice actresses for more often than not. Voicing kids, girl or boy.
Well, in this case, it works because there was going to be a sequel, so obviously Neil needed someone who could keep the voice consistent. If it was a 14-year-old girl that he actually got, by this point, she probably would have sounded different.
Weird, they could have just, had Ellie grow up a bit. Actually, do we know how old Ellie's going to be in the sequel yet?
It's well, judging from the teaser, she's probably like 18 in part 2, probably around that area.
She did seem a bit older and mature to me.
No, she is older, definitely. You can tell. She's probably like 18 in that trailer.
So I guess...
Anyway, Tess did see the merchandise, and it's a shit ton of weapons. Not just the ones Robert sold, but also a lot of guns as a bonus. So Tess decided that she's going to take the job and smuggle Ellie out of the city.
Without Joel.
No. Joel is going to come along, but remember, Tess is kind of the one calling the shots, as we've seen. It's not like we said. It's not that Joel is exactly a servant or anything. It's just that I guess
He kind of needs someone to lead him. That and the
fact that Tess. I mean, if Joel tries to contradict Tess would probably just beat the crap out of him. So
yeah, the only person scarier than Joel.
Traveled all the way from another city. Girl must be important.
oh, you have no idea, Tess.
Some bigwig's daughter. Something like that.
Again, just to establish that not all places are zombie swept.
Few months.
Follow our lead and stay close. Yeah.
Never say anything will take just a few hours. That never goes well.
All right, everybody. In the next part, we run into some zombies. So see you
Oh
then.
boy.
See you
See
then.
ya.